The Biden administration igniting a war of words with some of America's most dangerous foreign adversaries, all in just a matter of days.
But of course, the media and members of Congress are spinning his foreign policy blunders.
What Biden is trying to do is restore, some kind of normality to world leadership, and dismissing him like this in public, labeling him like that, bugs Putin, but it helps reestablish some kind of norms around what leaders can do.
It's also a striking contrast, of course, to President Biden's predecessor, Donald Trump.
This type of behavior is completely acceptable outside the international rules-based norm of how we should conduct ourselves.
Okay, so that's some of the sound from over the weekend. Here with reaction is former Deputy National Security Advisor and author of that book, Revolution, Trump, Washington, and We the People, KT McFarland. KT, good morning.
Good morning. Very good to be with you.
So to summarize what we just heard in that bouquet of sound bites is now that Trump is out, finally we can get back to normal.
Boy, it was really pathetic. Those sound bites were really tough. They were scrambling to try to make the best of a very bad situation. Look, earlier in the week, the Americans went to a meeting with the Chinese, and they brought a knife to a gunfight. I mean, they made a few opening comments, and the Chinese, wham, let them have it, using all of the woke media criticism of America's a racist nation. America has a lot of things to answer for. Black Lives Matter, yada, yada, yada. And then to make it even worse, President Biden himself, he calls Putin, he calls him, he says, you're a killer. Well, everybody knows Putin's a killer. And then he says, well, Putin doesn't have a soul. Well, maybe God should figure that one out. The point is that I look at all of this. The Biden administration has come in with a wall of words, like you just said. They've come in with a wall of words, but there are no deeds behind the words. They talk a tough game. They're going to be really strong, but yet the deeds never are there. And so as a result, we're getting pushed around by everybody. Joe Biden is becoming Jimmy Carter 2.0.
Katie, I have a question for you here on the meeting in Alaska with the Chinese. First of all, how frustrating, right, to have the Chinese, the most racist, intolerant country in the world. They have genocide and concentration camps lecturing us. But wasn't it predictable that if you brought up the Uyghurs, that they were going to come back with all this BLM woke rhetoric?
Yeah, and the Chinese knew what they were doing. They had a very carefully scripted and prepared set of talking points that they pulled out immediately to use. Yeah, I mean, the Biden administration should have gone into that with saying no expectations, but no talk. I mean, we met at the beginning of the Trump administration. We met with those same officials. We sat across the same tables, and the same officials, they gave their litany of what they demanded were red lines that you couldn't discuss, Taiwan, Hong Kong. There were no Uyghurs at that point, but they basically said these are internal Chinese affairs. We do what we want. You mind your own business. And yet the Biden administration, by doing it so publicly, they were now, they were just caught in a really weak defensive position. And for a country, for an administration that says we're going to rally everybody around us to stand up to China, they didn't look real strong themselves. I think it was a major mistake to do it this way.
KT, let me follow up on this because President Trump was certainly no stranger to talking tough. You just pointed out calling Vladimir Putin a killer is something that everybody knows. Therefore, it's true. Pointing out China's human rights abuses also is true. So what's the real mistake with the Biden administration here? They're talking tough. They're saying things that are true. So what are they doing wrong?
Well, they're not following it up with policies. I mean, I talked to President Trump about 2 weeks ago, Will, and he said, do you believe what everybody's doing to Biden? China would never have had the nerve to do this. Iran would never have had the nerve to do this to me. So let's just unpack it. So when Trump left office, he had in place a number of policies that would decouple the United States critical infrastructure supply chain from China. He had a number of other policies that were tough on China, whether it was technology transfer, whether it was U.S. investment in China. Now, the Biden administration, to its credit, has kept a couple of those things in place, but they've started dismantling others. So if you're China and you're looking at President Biden, who you've known for decades has always been soft on China, whose son takes a payroll from you, and you see the Biden administration come in, what are you thinking? You think, I own this guy. Now I'll be tough. And the fact that if I had been there and the Chinese had trash-talked my country that way, I would have gotten up and left.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have come back like Tony Blinken did, where he said, oh, well, we know we're not perfect, but, we're trying to be better. Nobody insults my country on my territory and gets away with it.
But maybe Hunter Biden is the elephant in the room there.
And KT, if you were there, I have a feeling you would have brought up, hey, by the way, China, didn't you start COVID? Thanks for giving us a heads up on that, because it did not work out well. All right. KT, thank you very much for joining us today from Sarasota.
Thanks, KT.
Thanks, Steve.